sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room. The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Explain to me again why we're sleeping on the ground.
Because we're thramping, thrift camping. It's saving us money and getting us closer to nature.
But we don't need to thramp. I just combined our home and auto insurance with our State Farm agent, so we have a rate that fits our budget.
All right. Do you think our agent can bring us an air mattress?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Now that Halloween is over and you're gearing up for Christmas, it's time to head to Tailored Life in Bennett to get ready with local shopping. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of Christmas trees in all different colors. Plus, many other fall and winter holiday items and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Welcome into the locker room, the most sacred of spaces in sports. Talking you through the behind-the-scenes conversations that happen behind closed doors with former Nebraska football tight end Chancellor Brewington.
Chancellor Brewington, the 6-year senior tight end, finding his way into the end zone.
And former South Dakota State running back and Nebraska football assistant, Mikey Daniel.
Hand off to Daniel inside the 2 to the 1, and he powers his way into the end zone for a South Dakota State touchdown.
This is The Locker Room, brought to you by Pep Foundation Repair. Here are your hosts, Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
Welcome to another week here in the locker room here on 93.7 The Ticket. I've been waiting for weeks to say Nebraska is bowl eligible right here on this Monday. I'll have to wait till next Monday. Nebraska comes up short again against USC. Mikey Daniel out today, should be back with us tomorrow, but Chancellor Brewington in studio, ready to react. Chancellor, how's it going?
It's going. I'm doing fantastic. I'm having a great day, but I think the weather probably reflects a little bit of, the feeling around Nebraska football right now, kind of gloomy, a little cold, a little windy, might want to just stay inside a little bit. I think that's really how Nebraska fans are feeling. And as you see the title for today's show, Nebraska fans, I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. Why am I sorry? Because I've been through it as a player, and we tried to fix it. Listen, I don't know if y'all know, but I played at Nebraska, and we didn't win while I was there. Let's just be honest. We didn't win. 21-22. We didn't win. And these are the type of games I've been in. And this game like reminds me of those Minnesota, Illinois battles back in the day where it's just those one-score games. It always comes down to last possession. Or like Wisconsin 21, you throw it up to Xavier Betts. He gets a holding call, the same type of call as Jamal Banks, no call. And it's just those type of games. And I feel like now it's just, Nebraska fans have a unique experience watching college football, watching their favorite team, and they can go through and count, 15 games in the past 3 years, just like this game. And they can find, another 15 games, just like the Ohio State game with the ranked opponent. And, we can go and see, all these years where we were just one game away from a bowl game. We were 2 wins away. We had 4 wins, midway through the year, 5 wins, and we didn't get it done. And it poses the question, and people have talked, and I know the chirps are going to start, Bach. They're going to start is rule the guy, is rule this, is rule this. The chirps are going to start. It's inevitable, right? I still think rules the guy. I think the way he runs the program is probably the best fit for Nebraska. But there's things that need to change. And, it's starting to teeter from coaching to kind of player. It goes back and forth each week. Then it's you first say, well, it's the coaching, then it's the players, then it's this, right? And so now I those are like my first initial thoughts. You were close. You were close prediction wise. I said 24-21 Nebraska. You said, I believe, 27-24 USC. What did you feel, just kind of first thoughts throughout the game?
A little pro tip there: if you expect Nebraska to lose to go into the game, you won't feel as bad when it happens. So, but no, I think that game played out similar to what I had predicted, and it's interesting because I think that there are positives to take away. It's just so frustrating, like you said. It's just every of one of these losses they'll pile together in a 4-game losing streak and all that, that it's hard to not walk away and be frustrated. But I think. In this game, it's kind of more of the same. The defense, I thought was going to struggle in this game, maybe more than against some of their, well, to be quite frank, against like Iowa's and Wisconsin's and some of the teams they've been able to play in the Big Ten West. Nebraska, or USC, has a pretty darn good offense. Was one of the best play callers in the sport, Lincoln Riley over there. And so they put up, 28 points. Nebraska's offense, while I thought looked a little bit better organized, less east-west, more north-south, better running game, but they didn't stick to it. Still only produced 13 points and really 10 points because the defense set them up with a field goal range and one of their scoring drives, which was a 3-and-out for like 4 yards. So, I think there's still positives come. I thought Emmett Johnson had a breakout game. He finally had a big play. Nebraska has struggled to get too many big plays going. Jalen Lloyd with a big catch to put Nebraska in a position to try to get a pretty good attempt there at the end to tie that game. So, I think there's positives to take away from, but unfortunately, they're all just kind of being grouped together. And Scott Frost said this at, I think the 5th year, maybe 4th year of his coaching tenure was it's just kind of we're playing the same movie over and over again and with different actors. And that's kind of what this loss feels like too.
Man. Man, that's a quote right there. That's a quote.
Yeah.
Same movie, different actors.
Yeah.
That's a quote right there. But, you bring in Holgorsen. I thought my initial takes of the offense, I thought it moved a little bit more efficient. First drive, this is where it gets tough because in the air raid, when something is taken away, say you got like a progression, a 3-man progression, then you're expecting the single receiver to win, backside. And we saw that with Nair a lot. There wasn't a lot of wins from Nair one-on-one versus coverage. USC DBs had a good day against him. And so you get a couple of those. The offense probably moves a little bit smoother earlier in the game. But for the most part, I thought the offense looked better. I thought it looked better. I said that I don't expect them to look like, the 2021, Kansas City Chiefs, but I did expect some type of improvement because I really felt like just the philosophy, of the old way previously this year just wasn't up to par, right? And I thought there was a lot of different loopholes where you could figure out something and make it better. And I thought the run game looked good, and like you said, we kind of went away from it. And I don't know, maybe that's because because we're down and this and this. But Emmett Johnson clearly looks like the guy. And then it was the news, I guess, reported that Dante was feeling under the weather or something like that, and that's why Emmett got the go ahead, the first drive. Like, why don't we just say he's the guy? I guess I'm not really understanding where's the holdup with Emmett Johnson, because it's been pretty clear throughout this year. What game was it? Illinois week. You give Dante 21, or I believe 19 carries. You give him 19 carries, and he just doesn't. I wouldn't say he seeks contact. I would say he seeks contact, and once he gets to the next level, he's not really trying to make a guy miss. I know he has that hurdle in his bag, but other than that, at second level, it's kind of just put your head down and run through and probably close your eyes, right? With Emmett Johnson, he has moves. He has a deep bag of tricks. He's kind of like a ball handler. He makes the first guy miss, makes the second guy miss, and always falls forward on his runs. If you look at some of the tape, he was averaging 5.5, but some of those runs were first downs, right? When we really needed them too, when we were struggling. And so I guess I don't really know what the holdup is with Emmett Johnson, because I'll tell you what, he has 7 catches, And in the air raid, they check down to the back versus cover 2, any type of cloud coverage. They're going to check down to the back. And so you need a back who can catch. You need a guy who can, get the ball and get upfield, get north and south and make someone miss. And I think, he kind of has, and I'll use this very, very lightly, like that Amir Abdullah kind of feel to it, right? I'm not saying he's Amir Abdullah. I'm just saying that he has that type of, he can make a guy miss, right? And he can fall forward, right? And I think that's the type of back, right? That, probably the highest standard, right, would probably be Amir. But yeah, I mean, running back wise, I don't know why especially with the air raid philosophy, why it wouldn't be a no-brainer that Emmett Johnson would be your guy.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like take the lip. Even if that was the case and he went in and did well, just say, yeah, that's, we saw something, just say okay, Emmett Johnson had a good game. We game planned for it. Don't back your way out of like one of the few things that went right. Say, well, yeah, that was kind of just by happenstance. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see, and Dante had a good game. It's not to say that Dante didn't, but he's just not going to break one away. Like you said, he seeks contact. He did do the hurdle, but he's not a breakaway back. And that's why I thought Emmett, on their one big play that they had, and I think I don't even know if they had, any other play that went over like 25 yards. He gives that ability to you. Like I said, maybe not quite Amir, but he's got enough toughness that he can kind of, push forward as a smaller back. Obviously brings the elusiveness. I know there was one game, I believe it was the Rutgers game, where they kind of gave him the opportunity to be the lead back. He didn't have his best game, and so has kind of been faltered back to that number 2. But he seems like a weapon, like you said, with kind of air raid concepts moving forward and him out of the backfield that Nebraska can have. Now, USC kind of figured that out by the end, because they went to that a couple times. But I'm glad. I mean, like we've been saying all year, find something that you can do, even if that's just Emmett out of the backfield. That's at least something you could say, well, here's something we can go to if we need a few yards.
Yeah, for sure. And even with the way Holgrenson spread the ball out too, receiving wise. I mean, you got Jamal Banks with 5, Jalen Lloyd with a big catch in the fourth quarter. That last drive, Janori Barner. I thought the way they used him was perfect. I thought it was perfect. I thought he was underutilized going into, this week and throughout the year. You motion him in, looks like split zone. All of a sudden you throw to him in the flat, motion him in, throw to him in the flat. And those type of things, I think we need to use him in those situations. We've used Fedoni in the past, and people have talked about, the lateral movement and this and that, the east and west. Fedoni needs to be north and south. I agree with you. That's his ball game. I would still love to get him more involved, but hey, this is the first week of the Holgrenson show. So it will get better, but I thought the flow of the offense, it got to a lot of different things. Bonner had 3 catches. Isaiah Nair had 3 catches. A couple of them were like, a little slant, shorter ones. Fedoni had a couple check downs. Ja'Cory Barney wasn't utilized the most. And I think that Holgrenson is going to probably look back at the tape and say, we need to get Ja'Cory involved a little bit more. It's just tough. You run all these jet sweeps, and now the outside backers and ends and even safeties are now triggering on these things. So they see these things coming. So you kind of got to get creative in the way you get Ja'Cory the ball. Because I wouldn't say he's a traditional guy who you can just throw him out on the outside and just like Trey Palmer and just let him run, right? You kind of got to be creative with that. Maybe in the screen game a little bit, although we've struggled with that, of course. Luke Lindenmeyer had a little one-handed catch, and of course Dowdell caught a couple. But an offensive line, I thought they played pretty decent. I think going into this game, it was tough. It was tough just because play call. But the one thing I loved about the offensive philosophy from Holgrenson is get the ball out quick. You saw early on Raiola not holding on to the ball quick. I mean, not holding on to the ball long. I thought that benefits the old lines particularly, and it benefits Raiola. And the Raiola conversation, I mean, needs to be had. There was a lot of mishaps. You talk about the corner route to Nair. He's just eyeing it. I think he was looking maybe to throw a back shoulder on that. But Nair didn't really give a move at the top. It's kind of hard for a quarterback if there's no indicator step. The top, planting your foot in the ground and indicating where you're going to go for the quarterback. It's kind of hard But of course, there's, at the end of the day, as a quarterback, your job is ball security at the end of the day, right? So that needs to be cleaned up. He went 27 for 38, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, the pick late. And of course, I would say, the USC DBs was holding all day. They were. And, I'm not a guy to throw the game to the refs, right? Because then you're giving the power to the refs, right? I'm a guy that would say we just need to win, right? We need to execute this, and this. But I will say, man, like, I feel like it's a commonality, like, for Nebraska fans, we go on Twitter and, we got to talk about this, and this. And one of the things after every game is the holding. It's the holding, it's the refs, it's this, and this. It's like we're already not playing good football. To make it worse, now we got to deal with the refs in black and white, right? They playing against us. Obviously, we got our own situations to handle. It's a tough situation, especially for Nebraska fans.
Yeah, and again, I think there at the end, I mean, I don't know. I know there's not a whole lot made about it, and I think a lot of it is because of we're just tired of yelling at the refs. I mean, Coach Rule was asked about it today, and he didn't want to comment it because he already said early in the season, "I'm done talking about this. All we do is get apologies on, on Sunday. What good does that do?" So, I mean, he's at his peak frustration with it, but you don't have much of a chance left, right? But you got to make a throw to the end zone. They do that. It was not a Hail Mary situation. One of the reasons you do that is because you could potentially get a holding or a pass interference call. I mean,
and you got it.
And they got it, and they just didn't make the call. So, Nebraska was kind of in a bad position to begin with. They're going to have to score 6 and then score 2 and then score in overtime somehow, which they never do. So I get it. People were at that time kind of thinking, well, it's not going to happen anyway. But that should be a big deal this week, and it's not as much just because we're used to it. We're used to the officials just not giving Nebraska the call. And Matt Rule said it before, and I agree with him. Somebody's got to stand up for Nebraska and get this taken care of because it's been years. I'm not that guy either. And when you lose so many close games, you can always, there's this call or that call, but there's always plays that you can make too. But it's just ridiculous that week after week we can't. There's another spot earlier in the game. USC is a yard short, and they just give them the first down. That's happened obviously early in the season too. I guess everybody's complaining in college football about the officials, but man, as a Nebraska fan, it just feels like sometimes you're targeted.
Right, and it feels like it's every week. And we could probably go through literally every week and say this call. But I guess it's skewed because I don't really watch. I watch other teams, but I don't watch them as intently as Nebraska. So I'm sure every fan base can say something like it, but I feel like Nebraska is always going viral on Twitter for some type of holding call that doesn't get called. Yeah.
Ridiculous. But it did. It happened again this week. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more from the locker room with Chancellor Brewington coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements. We fix basements.
At F Foundation Repair, we've been fixing basements for over 30 years. We're your local foundation repair experts. Our warranties stay here. Our people work here. You can trust us to take care of your home. Go to WeFixBasements.com to learn more.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, the Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited. All built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of November. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln at 27th and I-80.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry, this deal ends soon. See Home Club for details.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
At Coppell Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Coppell, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Coppell Chevrolet GMC.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings, your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
Now's the time to get your John Deere equipment inspected and prepared for next season. Acres trained technicians will thoroughly evaluate your machine and get it running at peak performance. And for a limited time, Acres is offering early inspection incentives. Sign up before December 15th and qualify for a discount on parts installed by Acres. Get no interest and no payments until November of 25 with approved financing through John Deere Financial. Some restrictions apply. Contact your nearest Acres location for details.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, take over $11,000 off a 2024 Ford F-150. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1004296, MSRP of $66,645. Must finance with Ford Motor Company and have a qualifying trade and approved credit. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 11/13/24. See delivery details.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by App Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here in the locker room, continuing to react here on a Monday. Nebraska's single digit loss. Once again, 8-point loss to USC, 28-20. We'll continue to do so with Chancellor Brewington in studio.
Yeah, so we were just hitting the offense. Now we got to switch over to the defense. Woody Marks ran for 146 yards on 19 carries, long to 34. And I believe that 34 came from a 4th and 1 where Lincoln Riley decides, instead of doing the tush push, instead of QB run, he decides to do, motion Zach Ryder branch and run speed option on 4th and 1 and gets it and gets a 34-yard gain. This defense has built its foundation on stopping the run, and forcing the other team to pass, right? It's kind of everything's kind of crumbling. And I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm really not. But if you just look at the numbers, I mean, Garbers last week, 2 weeks ago, throws for probably, has one of his best games, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, then they can run the football too. And then all of a sudden, Woody Marks comes in and he, runs for 146. And at Jaden Maeva, he throws for 259, right? Almost 300 yards. And so it's almost like, the Nebraska thing. And this happens in November. Guys are beat up and stuff like that. But it looks like it's slowly crumbling. And the foundation of this team, which was the defense, now is a question mark. It's a question mark, and you don't really know where you're going to get every week. You don't know if it's going to be, the dominant D-line we call the death row, or it's going to be, a D-line that, USC is running counter, and there's no penetration. Our front 4, our front 3, or front 3 down linemen can't really get through that. And it's all, and I'm sure I've seen it already. The 3-3-5 this, the 3-3-5 this. Tony White's not this of an offense corner. I don't really know, but I know the foundation of this team is the defense, and possibly I could say this foundation of the team was the defense, because I don't know what Nebraska defense we have right now.
Well, yeah, they gave up some big plays. That option play, like you mentioned, was as close to a backbreaker as you could get. But I will say this for them: they at least did get a pick six once again to start the game off. And what an incredible moment that was for Sierra Wright. Also, the turnover that they set up with Ty Robinson getting in there on a fumble force there, set up another 3 points. So while they did give up 28 points and too many big plays, and Matt Rule mentioned the secondary didn't do well. And my God, if another ball bounces off our head or helmet hands into the USC hands again, I mean, there's just, again, it's just that, you can sometimes those numbers kind of masks, what the details are, right, and what those numbers are. Like, if you can get that stop, early on, and it's just a matter of inches, a matter of batting down the ball, right? Like you have it in your hands or whatever, then you stop a drive and you stop a lot more yards being put up, or, so, I don't know. I think the defense is still solid. I don't think they were ever great to begin with. They kind of were able to kind of keep teams out of the end zone early on. Obviously against a lesser schedule to kind of bolster up those numbers. I expect them, at least against Wisconsin, to look pretty darn overwhelming, because Wisconsin's got a tough offense. Now, again, how much is that? A lot of teams are able to do that to Wisconsin. The real question is, now that you've given up 146 to Woody Marks, what does the Iowa game look like? Because they don't have much of a passing game either, but boy, do they have a running back.
Right. They have a very elusive and strong, powerful runner in their running back. And I talked about this. I said a 70. I think me and you were talking about it, or was it Harrison? I think I said a 70% chance that we go bowling, before USC. And then I said, if we lose this one, it drops, around 40%. I think we're below 50 now. The odds are not in our favor. And that's just to be realistic. The odds are not in our favor. Because I've been talking about it, these games, you just don't know what's going to happen. Wisconsin can be a 1-win team, and Nebraska be a 9-win team, and that game is going to be close. When Iowa could be a 10-win team and Nebraska be a 1-win team, that game is going to be close. It's just how the world I mean, it's how the world of football works, how football rivalries work. Nebraska, we talked about it. Nebraska has all these opportunities, 2 of them with Malcolm Hartzog. I mean, they took a screenshot and it went right through his hands, right? And that's tough because, they switched Buford, and Buford was previously playing corner. Hartzog was playing safety. They switch him. Smart by Lincoln Riley. You got a guy who, was playing safety, not really targeted. Playing outside press is different than playing inside slot, off 8 yards, right? It's a different technique. You got to get used to it. You got to get comfortable to it. So it's smart by Lincoln Riley. Hey, we got Malcolm Hartzog, fresh at corner, and we got Deuce Robinson, who's 6'6". I mean, why not? Let's throw some jump balls to him. And then we got some other receivers, 6'1" plus. Let's throw some jump balls to him. Let's burn him deep. Not so much burn him deep, but let's test him. And that's just smart offense. And I saw it earlier in the game. I'm like, oh, they're not afraid. They're going to throw this ball out there. So smart by Lincoln Riley. You can really just tip your hat off on those. Like those, if he gets those plays 10 times, I always talk about it 10 times, he probably gets 5 of them, or he might get 6 of them, or he might get 7, right? And we just had the shorthand, right? But I really believe that, Rule talked about it. The DBs didn't play the best. They didn't play the best, and that was a veteran group. You look at MC, he's played 3 years of football. Giffords played a lot of football. I thought Buford played good, though. I thought Buford had some really good, I think where he's best is that safety position where he can trigger on run action, where he can trigger on, the little screens out there. He blew up a screen. I think that's where he's best, playing kind of in that, like, not so much rover, but kind of that nickel-ish position, safety. Sometimes he's in the post, sometimes he's down, sometimes he's, blitzing off the edge. I think that's where he's best. So good, I would say good adjustment there. Some people probably don't really understand it, but I think as you get into the USC game, as you get into Wisconsin, I think, Malcolm Hartzog is probably our best bet at corner. Just speed-wise and technique-wise, I think he's the more sound of the two. And man coverage and stuff like that. And I think that allows you to play a little different coverage, right? Because, you can play a little bit man and blitz off of that and trust, Malcolm to do whatever. Although we, obviously the outcome of those 2 jump balls didn't go the way we want to, but say he tips it with his finger and it goes the other way. We're praising him and saying, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Right. But, I remember I was talking to some Hall of Famer. He was a Colorado wide receiver. He told me if you don't make the play, they'll never remember your name. Right. And so it kind of hits right there where, you have an opportunity to make the play. It's right in your hands. It's right in front of you, but you don't make it. And now this is what we have to talk about. It's just the way the game works. But defensively, I think they're going to get tested, Wisconsin. And you're going to see really who wants to be out there, because I have to say it, Bach. I have to say it. And we talked about coach. We've been tough on the coaches, tough on this show, real tough. Well, now we got to be tough on the players. I'm beyond it. We got to, because what I seen Tommy Hill have an opportunity to make a play on the sideline, and it ain't happened. Let's just be honest. It ain't happened. He didn't leave his feet. I mean, put his head down, kind of just give a little shoulder nug, and they end up scoring. Zachariah Brent's first receiving touchdown of the season. Man, I don't really understand, especially when we got an opportunity. You're playing in Memorial Coliseum, as they say. It looked like it was a pretty packed game. I mean, you got energy there. That's what I'm trying to say. You got energy, you got motive. So I don't know, the nucleus of this team, I don't know who it is. If it's Giff, if it's Ty, if it's all, I'm not going to put it on one person. Maybe it's a collective group. But they need to really tighten up right now. They need to tighten up, because it looked like defensively, it looked like sometimes we were playing together. Sometimes it was, hey, y'all just figured out this is this. I'm playing for me, or stuff like that. I think collectively they got to come together and say, okay, especially a senior group, y'all got to have what the old folks say, come to Jesus moment. Come to Jesus and say, hey, look, we only got 2 games left together. And I don't know if I don't think they realize, and looking from the outside in, when coming up to these 2 games, like you ain't got, it's not like y'all gonna be together again. It's the real fact. Like, I remember we go and beat Iowa, we get on the plane, and that was the last time the team was together. Last time. And, then we get on the bus, last time the offense together. And all the coaches know it. I mean, the coaches know it, the support staff, whatever. The only people who don't really grasp it and understand it is the players, right? So you have to come together and say, hey, look, this is probably the last time we're going to be together because we're going to see each other. And, I see some former teammates and we look back and like, damn, like, that flew by, right? And, you always hear, your first day of high school, always it's going to fly by. Then all of a sudden it actually does, right? But for real, like the guys have to get together and say, look, I know our standard, we didn't live up to it. We thought, Gifford said we gonna win all the games, media days. And I love the attitude. I'm not knocking him for at all. But you got to come together and say, hey, look, we have a special opportunity to win these next 2 games. They're trophy games. If that adds any, extra energy or extra fire to it, those are trophy games. You gotta find a way. We gotta find a way. And I'm not gonna say call people out, but you gotta say, hey, look, ain't you trying to go to the league? Don't you got something to play for? Don't you got a family back home? Like, don't you got all these different things? I would be saying it to everyone. It's not one particular player, but that's just a conversation that needs to be had. And if they can have that conversation and get something from it, I think this Wisconsin, this is a winnable. All these games are winnable. Every game on the schedule this year has been winnable. Right. But I think it's a mindset thing. And I think it's a combination of X's and O's. But I think this USC game was a mindset thing. I think they were put in enough positions to win the game.
Yeah, well, again, and it seems like that happens from time to time for Nebraska. This is basically every week. But we will see. And I've mentioned this again. I know it's Monday and everybody's pretty frustrated. You're on a 4-game losing streak. I get all that. But like you said, with that senior class, they have an opportunity to do something that many of the senior classes before them haven't been able to do, which is one, go to a bowl game and another beat Wisconsin and beat Iowa in the same season. So plenty left to play for this Nebraska football team. Let's take a quick break. We'll wrap it up in the locker room coming next year on 93.7 The
Ticket. Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get?
Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hard work. It's what drives Nebraska. It defines our strength. Men like you live it every day. But sometimes living up to those expectations can be overwhelming. If you're struggling, call or text 988. You'll get skilled, caring support 24/7. Live up to a different kind of strength, the strength to ask for help. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I'm Steve Carper, and I'm here to tell you that there's never been a better time to buy flooring. Whether you need carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you got to come to O Street Carpet. With our 12-month interest-free financing, you can do one room or your whole house and leave your holiday budget intact. And with our huge in-stock selection, you can buy today and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? That feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios on O Street.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by F Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here in the locker room. One final segment as we get going. Plenty to talk about throughout the week. Mikey Daniel will be back as well. But we got something going that we've been doing here lately, like to keep doing, as Chancellor has a skill, and that's that he can read a lot of books. So let's get to a Chancellor Brewington book review here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hello, cultured Nebraskans. Sit back, relax, and listen to Chancellor Brewington give you his honest review of his latest reading. This is Brew's Book Review on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, sir. So on Brew's Book Review this week, I got Your Invisible Power by Genevieve B. Rand. It's a phenomenal book. Initial rating 9 out of 10. And hey, listen, I'm tough on these books, but it was a fantastic book. She was a mentee or student of Thomas Troward, a phenomenal kind of mind science philosopher, scientist, kind of the merge between those things. This book is like early 1900s. I'm learning that there's a lot of secrets and knowledge in the older books, right? But this book is awesome. Just for she kind of explains her journey throughout her life and how she kind of became one of Troward's students and all the things she learned. And she went from a widow to learning kind of the mind science and how this world works. And it's a fascinating book. It's a really quick read. I read it in I read pretty quick, so I read it in a day, but I think someone could read this in a couple weeks, just a couple pages at a time. But phenomenal book. I would suggest it probably for anyone who wants to just kind of discover a little bit more about themselves. I think it's about her, but it's a kind of a reflection of kind of all of us, because I think we can all relate to it. But phenomenal read. I would definitely recommend it. Go get it on Amazon. Go get it on all those platforms. Not really a book plug, because I don't know if she's still around. So, but phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal stuff. Yes, sir. But I mean, we got a couple more things to talk about this USC game. We got Wisconsin coming up. They're coming here. Probably going to be a colder game. I don't know why, but Wisconsin is always a colder game. They're just coming off of a tight game with Oregon. I mean, Nebraska can't catch a break. I mean, they go and play Oregon. They were up at halftime. I believe it was 13-10. They end up throwing a pick late to Oregon. Oregon ends up getting it done. I guess the question is for Nebraska fans and for you, Bach, is, where's Nebraska going to go from here? I mean, you got an 8-point loss to USC. Do you bounce back, or, do you kind of crumble under the covers and just say, hey, we'll just take it into next year?
I really think this is Nebraska's opportunity. The Iowa game, I mean, you lose 5 straight going into the Iowa game. I mean, mentally, you're in a rough spot. This is your opportunity. You're at home. Wisconsin just fired their offensive coordinator. I mean, they're kind of where Nebraska was last week, I suppose, going into this thing. So, both coaches kind of in a similar position too. Both year 2 coaches, their original offensive coordinator hire didn't work. Struggling offenses. So it's going to be who wins on defense. And then the other thing is red zone offense. That's been Nebraska's bugaboo all year long. Wisconsin's almost just as bad as it. So, it's going to be one of those close games. I mean, we all know how both the games that Nebraska has had just with Wisconsin and just the games they've had over the last several weeks. It's going to come down to who can convert those touchdowns or those opportunities, those red zone opportunities to touchdowns rather than field goal attempts. And I don't expect there to be too many red zone opportunities just because these are some struggling offenses. So, but I would implore Husker fans to not give up, to go down to this game. And like I said, going to break, as bad as it's been and as frustrating as it's been, this season can still be a success if you go to a bowl game, beat Wisconsin and Iowa. You haven't done that. You haven't beat both of them in the same year since 2012. Like I said, you've lost 10 straight to Wisconsin, 8 out of 9 to Iowa. If you would have told me coming into the year, there were hopes of 8, 9 wins. Okay, but you would have told me you win 7 games, you beat Wisconsin and Iowa. I wouldn't say that would be my ideal year, but I'd say that's a pretty successful year.
I think the bowl game, I'll put it this way. I think the bowl game, a win versus Wisconsin, because I'm in agreement with you that if it goes to Iowa, I don't know how we get that one done. That's a tough environment to play at. I will say this. I think a win versus Wisconsin, you go bowling, I think it puts the Band-Aid on a pretty large wound, right? I think it puts a Band-Aid on it. I think people don't really talk about it as, I think for at least a week, right? And then after season, everyone's going to come to their senses and say, we just lost 4 straight. Like, this program, needs this and this, XYZ, need talent, need this, recruiting, all this different stuff. But I think that's what this Wisconsin game will provide for Husker Nation and, obviously Matt Rule and company and the Nebraska, everyone inside that facility. But they can get it done. I mean, shout out to them. It's been fun. It's been fun breaking this down. But of course, Nebraska loses, but we should all not let that affect us. We should be living our lives, of course, and go read a book.
There you go.
Go read a book.
Absolutely. Do not let Nebraska dictate your happiness, because you've been pretty sad for quite some time. If that's the case. So, all right, that'll wrap it up for the Locker Room today. On the Block, coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements. We fix basements.
At F Foundation Repair, we've been fixing basements for over 30 years. We're your local foundation repair experts. Our warranties stay here. Our people work here. You can trust us to take care of your home. Go to WeFixBasements.com to learn more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and Day. Purchase your tickets online today at ChristmasLightsInLincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before. Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings, your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through